Hey guys, this is Neil again. We're going to jump back into doing some more. What's the matter? Oh, okay. So what I went today, instead of making my own pot, I just went and bought one. They're 15 bucks. I'm being lazy, and I totally admit it. So what we have to do is prep this pot first before I start tearing this out, because I want to tear this tree out right here. And I think you guys are gonna feel sorry for this tree when I start hacking it to pieces. The first thing we got to do is, see that big hole? We got to stop junk from going out of it. So I've got the screen right here, about six inches. And then what I want to do is just cut a piece of screen that's going to be big enough to fill the bottom of the pot. So super simple. Screen costs next to nothing to get at Walmart. So you see I've got this piece right here, and then what I'm going to do, and if Jamie, if you can come over with the camera, just kind of look down in here, and what I want is this to lay down, obviously, as we...
Okay, so since you said Jamie, hi.
Thank you, Jamie, for helping me out.
Absolutely.
So I just want to get some rocks on this, one, to hold that down, but two, you know, this is going to let all that extra water and drainage happen. So remember last time we were talking, and I just don't need any root rot. So I went and grabbed some rocks from around the yard. Super simple, nothing crazy. And I'm just gonna kind of try to get everything to work together in here. See how I don't really have it tightly woven in, because, you know, the dirt's gonna kind of fill some of that in anyway. So there's no reason to get too bent out of shape about it. Just kind of want to fill in some gaps. And then what I'll normally do, if you kind of come over here, I'm going to grab some fresh soil. So what this is this is 50% sand and 50% topsoil. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to fill it in, just kind of shake it in. So that's my bottom layer.
Shake and bake?
That's a shake and bake right here.
Right.
We'll get that done. All this organic matter in there is really good. Because remember, I want to get this tree to grow. So see if you come in close, Jamie, you can see, guys, from the last video, we already have all this new growth. And you can see, like, when you look down through this,
it's cute.
It is cute. Like you see how I cleaned all of this stuff out?
Yes.
And you can see now through it. And in fact, I actually did get my stainless steel.
Sorry, I'm trying to hold my skirt here.
My stainless steel chopsticks. So we'll be using that on this. But what I want to do is just show you guys kind of how we're going to process this repotting, because it's going to be cold tonight. It's dropping down to 35, 34 degrees tonight. So we're just going to toss this. I'll get that later. And so you can see how root bound this is. Yeah. Okay. So this is bad. This is really bad.
Okay.
And so the first thing I want to do is come in and scrape the sides. So I'm going to try to break it up as much as possible on the sides, okay, and the bottom too, but we'll get there. So, and the reason that I'm doing this on top of this right here is because this soil has established the microbiology that is essential for the tree growth. Okay. And a lot of you don't know that trees do not have any immune systems. None of these plants do, right? Not like you and I. So how they actually survive in the wild is because they get sick by the same things you and I do: worms, viruses, fungus, yeast, cancers, that kind of stuff. So how they survive in the wild is they do two things. One, they build a symbiotic relationship with the soil and the microbes in the soil, and a lot of that has to do with like mycelium, mushroom mycelium and stuff like that. All right, so building good soil is important.
Following, okay.
And then so that was one. And then I want to get in here and get this done so we don't make this such a long video. Yeah, that is super root bound. So this is where we get super crazy, right? So I'm going to lay that down. I don't want to hurt the branches.
I told you, no bonsai abuse.
Bonsai abuse, watch it, bud. So see how root bound this bad boy is?
I mean, I see it.
So you get crazy. This is crazy stuff. It's crazy. He's stabbing trees. What?
Ladies, he's available.
do is just kind of get in here.
Yeah.
Make sure nothing falls off because everything seems like.
I mean, I feel like a lot kind of fell off there, Neil.
What's
but
that?
so I feel like a lot kind of came off there, Neil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This is gonna be.
Are you gonna put all that back into the pot?
Well, actually, most of this is coming off.
Okay.
So, and again.
Dang, we need like a
look how
saw.
Yeah, I might have to. I didn't think it was this root bound when I looked at it.
Yeah.
But you can see how I'm gonna come in.
Okay.
And I'm gonna start cutting.
Yeah.
Until I can get separation. See how I'm getting separation?
Yeah.
So I want separation. I kind of let this dry out a little bit so that I can get in there. Hurts your feelings, doesn't it?
I mean, it's like watching you torment this poor bonsai. But
So,
I get it. It's just tough love, right?
It's tough love.
Tough love.
It's tough love. So
Yeah.
we're gonna pull all of this apart. See all this?
Okay.
This is not good for the tree. The tree is hurting.
Poor tree. It definitely is hurting one way or another.
Yes, we're getting into it. But you know,
Yeah.
what do they say about like makeup and pain is beauty and
Absolutely.
So for this tree,
It's called
pain is
maintenance.
beauty.
It's called maintenance works.
Right.
Okay. So just maintenance.
Dang. So, okay, so come here and check this
Okay.
out. This is what I mean by the,
Oh, yeah,
the
I see that.
microbiology.
Yeah.
So when it creates a symbiotic relationship with this, it actually helps protect the plant because it's living off of the waste of this tree, and then it sends microbiotics back into the tree, antiviral stuff, anti-fungus. So this is really important. So
Okay.
I don't want to get rid of this.
I feel you.
So what I'm going to do?
I'm going to comment after we get done with this live video with my worms. I found worms in my Mrs. Dash's seasoning.
Uh-oh.
Isn't that awesome?
That's not awesome.
It so is. I kept them like as a science experiment. We're gonna keep bonsai.
Right?
Hey, bonsai.
So the second way that they protect themselves from the environment
Yes.
is they create chemical defenses.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I mean by that is we don't need that. So what I mean by that is see how that microbiome is right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So they create different types of chemical defenses to defend themselves against the worms, the microbes, the viruses, the bacteria. That's why herbalism is so important. That's where actually all your medicine actually comes from. And that's why plants are so important to developing medicine, because they will naturally develop defenses to the same things that are killing you and I. So we're just going to keep kind of getting into here and pulling it out. See, I want to pull it out.
Yeah.
And
We're teasing the roots.
Oh, yes. We can call it that.
Yeah.
But see, I want to put a lot of this dirt back in here
Okay.
because I want
Well, that's what I was asking earlier. I wasn't sure like what part you would save to put back in that pot. As you know,
as much as possible.
Okay.
At least the white stuff that you saw.
Yeah.
And of course the neighbor's dogs are going to start barking.
Well, I mean, they like to do that.
But all dogs do it, so I'm not surprised. Okay, so see how I'm kind of being rough here? So we're going to get a lot of this. Look at how root bound that was.
That's pretty, but it looks healthy now.
Well,
It looks like nice and like.
It will in a minute. So you can see how much I took off. You can see.
Yeah.
I took off a huge part. Actually,
Definitely.
I want to get some of that back in there. All that white stuff is really important.
Got to get all them nice microorganisms down in that pot, right?
All that microbes. Because I don't want. I mean, I'm shocking the shit out of the tree right now.
I know you are.
It wants to cry. It
Yeah.
probably is crying. And if
It-
you
I
can
mean,
hear
it made me a little
it
bit.
definitely is. So what I got to do is make this whole process worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna pull all this away. Now, remember in that last video how I was like, this has a wonderful, wonderful base on it.
Yes, it does actually. It looks actually very well established.
So, what's eventually gonna happen, maybe next year, I probably won't do it this year, because I wanted to get used to being in this pot.
Yeah.
It'll be in this pot for a while now.
Yeah.
Probably until next year. And you see how I put some of the roots back in there? And that's okay. Okay. But now, the tree, when it sits in here, it should kind of peak a little bit
Okay.
in there. Okay.
All right.
So one of the things that I'm going to do is clean up my workspace a little bit.
Yeah, well.
Sure. Okay. And just kind of get some of this stuff out of here. So I don't want all
We're going to
this
call
stuff.
it Dirty Bonsai Love.
Yeah, dirty bonsai. Okay, yeah. Dirty bonsai. I like it.
You like it?
Okay, so this is where I'm going to do half and half. So,
Okay.
I'm going to come in here and I'm going to mix it up.
More
Now,
shake
is
and
this
bake,
the-
shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
All right.
Now, is this the normal process for it going into a bonsai pot? No. What I'm actually trying to do is train it. Okay, so
Well, are we kind of like kings of unconventional around here, though?
that's my main nickname.
Okay.
So, but you see how, like, what I can do is, there's two ways I can do this.
Yeah.
I can soak this whole pot in water,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then I just fill in the air bubbles.
Right.
Or I can turn it to one side and start shoving the dirt up into its, essentially, the tree's butthole. And so, but yeah, so
There's
what we wanna
so
do is
many different terms I can like put on that.
and you just kind of want to come in here, just break it. See, it's still a little.
Oh god, this is great.
So it's still kind of. We want the roots to. We want them to grow.
Yeah, we definitely want them to grow.
Alright, so now if you compare, I still left 2/3 of the root. Okay? One.
Neil's
two.
abusing
All
the
right.
bonsai.
So because I've got all this stuff in here, and I've got all this.
Yes.
So again, when I go to put this in here, and say hi to Sandy, she's live on Facebook right now,
Sandy!
walking into the video.
That's okay.
So
I'm
you
gonna turn around and
notice how
say,
I'm grabbing-
hey!
So you notice how I'm also grabbing the stuff that was on top.
Yes.
So like this. Because this tree is naturally, it's, like I said last time, this is what the tree wants. It wants a very acidic soil.
Yes.
And that's kind of what we're going to give it. Alright, so
Okay.
if you guys see me, I'm rotating back and forth.
Make sure you got that tree peeking though.
I got, well, the biggest thing is when this thing goes in here,
Yeah.
actually, stand right by. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, so Neil decides he's gonna go inside, so I'm gonna go over here and pretend like I'm bonsai botanist Jamie. Hey guys. Hey, he's back. He's
Okay.
back. He's back.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Alright.
Oh my god.
Okay, so this is what I mean by the bonsai chopsticks. These are
Yes.
stainless steel.
Those so are like stainless steel chopsticks. I
So,
like them. I want them for
Now
my
what I'm
hair.
going to start doing,
Yes.
and I won't bore you guys with this, is I'm going to start poking the dirt into.
Okay, so Jody asked if you were like freeing the roots up with all that violence.
Well, I'm definitely stimulating growth.
Okay.
So by bringing all that violence into the base of it.
So that he doesn't have to put it all in the butthole. That's what he said.
The butthole of the tree.
Your words, not mine.
That's all right. We're having fun, right?
It's great.
So- But if you noticed, I am putting a lot of the dirt that was in it
Yeah.
right back into it.
Yes.
And then, so I'll turn it sideways.
All right, now we're getting sideways.
I'll grab my chopsticks.
Yeah.
Stainless steel.
All right.
I think I got, what was it, 5 pair of stainless steel chopsticks off of
I'm gonna snag like a pair of those for my
Amazon
hair,
for-
by the way.
I think they're $8.
Yeah.
$8 for
Yeah.
these. So the reason that we're using chopsticks is because I can get real deep into those woods with this.
I feel like this is called a bonsai, but I'm just gonna go with that.
The bonsai butt. That's
No,
what
the
we're
bonsai
trying to do.
chopsticks.
So
Okay.
you'll see me like I can when I'm pushing down and I'm turning the bonsai butt into the pot. Right?
So we don't have to do bonsai anal.
So if you
Okay.
get down,
Yeah, you heard
can
me.
See how I'm already above the pot,
Yes.
and that's what I want.
All right.
Okay. So we're just going to continue to feed the dirt in here,
Okay.
and then what we'll do is we'll come in and we'll kind of stuff the dirt back in.
God, this is great.
Yes, this will even get better.
This is wonderful.
And then so, you know, this process is kind of boring. And
I don't know. I feel like it's a little exciting. We're just getting to the end, though, right?
What's that?
We're just going to get to the end result.
Yes, yes. So I'll just start feeding this into here.
Oh, I cannot wait to end this video and call it what I want to call it. And you better hit the video end before I say it. This is great. Oh, my God.
So the only thing I didn't do with this tree is tie it down with copper wire.
I'm sorry I'm making all these funny faces.
We're talking about tree buttholes and tying it down. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know. This is wonderful. He's straight poking the hell out of it right now.
Yes. So what I don't want, and I will actually water the absolute hell out of this thing when I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Because it'll work the dirt in back around underneath. See? And you'll feel it when all of a sudden you can't get the metal stick in the tree's butthole.
Yeah.
It ain't going in anymore. How did we get here?
I don't know.
So, you know, the idea is, and I won't keep you guys on here while I do this because this is pretty monotonous work, but it's going to take a while, probably another 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
Just doing nothing but working this soil back into it. And then pretty soon, you won't be able to move the tree. It'll be in its pot for a long time now. But what you do is you just kind of, in this situation.
Okay, so like honestly though, okay, so I'm from the area, and all my life I've been driving to Granger Lake.
Okay.
And there's these huge bonsai trees on the way to the lake. They were to the left. Do you know what I'm talking about, Sandy? Yes. And so I want to say that those were actually in pots for the longest that I can remember. And then I don't know if they actually ever buried them, but somebody ought to go save them if they aren't. But
well, I'm all about bonsai rescue.
Yeah, we're going to have to go check those things out because they've been there my whole life.
Nice, nice. What was interesting is the other day I stopped at a neighbor's house because they have some boxwood. They have some boxwood trees that are literally getting its ass handed to it.
Yeah.
And I talked to them about maybe doing a bonsai rescue. So, you know, like I was talking on the last video.
Yes, I've seen that, yeah.
About, Sandy, I'm doing a live video there. Huh?
Shake, shake, shake. Hey, we're shaking and baking. She's shaking and baking.
So, I don't know if she was going to come over and start spraying the pot or...
I mean, it's okay though.
So, I did talk to a neighbor, and they're potentially interested in letting me come do a bonsai rescue.
Nice.
On a couple of their... bushes that are really kind of, the problem is they're too far north on the house.
Yeah.
So they're not getting enough sun. And then of course they get their ass handed to them with the north winds and the northwest winds. And so it's really one of those things where, see, you can come over here, you can see it like it's getting harder and harder.
Someone just asked what the rating on this video was.
I think it's going to be R here in a second.
I don't know. Poor guy.
So you see how I can jam this all the way down in there. So what I'm going to do to save some time is just jam my fingers down into there so that I can kind of show you guys what the end result is, and I'll just come back in and keep working the dirt. But eventually what will happen is I'll be up in here and I'll be working the dirt down in there. And see how, like when I start going down straight, now what I'm actually doing is pushing the roots down. And this is what I mean by like being able to come in here if you want to, like right here, and I can go through and start poking it through and then like pulling out all the dead. Like I was talking about last time, you can just use this so you don't have to tear your hands up when you're doing this. And you know, you'll find the dead spots where all that dead shit is coagulating, but you can see there's so much new growth on this already, just from
it is. It looks like way healthier than it did last week.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of what we're looking to do. Is, it'll be in this pot. It'll be in this pot for probably another 2 years, at least, maybe 3.
Nice.
And I wanted to get as root bound as possible. And then that's when I think I will throw it into an actual bonsai pot at that point. But I didn't want to have to go make one out of cement and all this other stuff. You can buy one for $15. it's nice and it's clay, so it has a little bit of thickness to it, so it will protect the roots. It gets wet, it stays wet for a lot longer, and I think it's a better pot during the winter, especially for its training phase. So, and this is one of those beautiful trees that every year, because the bark peels off of this, it's going to change. Like, just the dynamic of the tree is going to change.
Well,
so,
it's a very nice looking tree.
Yes.
I'll say that much.
The nice thing is this will come out, you know, and we'll peak this off.
Yeah.
And this will fill this area in. And these two, what'll happen is I'll come down into like this. So you can tell that they're two different platforms, but they're together. So, and so this really is just the quick and easy guide to ripping your tree out of the pot, taking at least a third out of it. You see how root bound that is?
Yes.
That tree can't grow anymore.
No, it's
There's
out.
no growth
Yeah.
in this tree.
Yeah.
The only way that I would be able to get this tree to continue to grow is just simply
you got to give it a
pull
little bit of
out.
room. It has to have breathing room. Everything has to have breathing room. So,
but this, you know, again, I'm trying to get as much of this white stuff, the
I see it.
mycelium, onto this so that it can get into the soil as I work it in. And a good arborist, a good arborist will do this if he's transporting or she's transporting trees. We're looking for the white mycelium stuff. We'll get that worked in back in around the roots. And
sorry, I'm still holding my
some
dress.
of you guys y'all will repot trees, and they'll die on you, and you don't know why. And it's because a lot of that mycelium, which has got a symbiotic relationship with this tree, didn't transfer over. So your tree didn't have enough symbiotic mycelium, just like it cannot survive without that mycelium, because it's fundamental to its immune system. So, like, if you've ever potted a tree or a plant and it dies on you for no legitimate reason, like you just forgot to water it or something like that, most likely you just didn't get enough of that mycelium back into the tree. And see, it looks like a lot, but then you start grabbing this.
Yeah, right? But once it settles down.
Yeah, and I can feel it, like there's still some air pockets in there. So what I will do is continue to work that in. And you see how I'm kind of going at the base. I'm just going to go around. I'm just going to keep going around it.
Yeah, I see you working that tree.
And
I see it.
Because I'm trying to work the dirt in. And here in a minute, I hear you laughing over there. And so here in a minute, like when I get ready to do the next tree, after I've tried to work in as much dirt as possible, I'll water the absolute dog hell out of this thing. Yeah. And plus tonight we're going down to the 30s, and so I'm gonna leave that right there. But so remember I was talking about this spinner last time.
Oh yeah, what is that? So show me about that.
We'll do this spinner, and so
because now we're a bonsai DJ.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I want to,
we got
again,
turntables.
I'm gonna go back and work on this. But see, now I can spin
what
the tree.
the hell?
I can spin the tree in many different ways.
Okay.
I'm not jerking the pot around. It's smooth transition from one way or another. And the only thing with this is I would usually have to grab the base. If I was doing anything like snipping, or I wouldn't do it one on this.
Yeah.
But if I was doing like some shaping or some, trimming, and I just need to like do this and then step back, and it's like, I don't like that. And then you spin it and you clip it. So this is really fundamental. Again, I think this was on Amazon for
I think you said like $15, yeah.
Yeah, so and then so what I really like about this already, guys, is you see how this base is above this. So eventually when I work all this in, what'll happen is this will create a little divot, obviously. I don't want to push too hard on that. But this will create a channel for it to catch water. Yeah. And instead of, what I want to do is, and maybe I'll show you guys this eventually, is we create channels in the dirt. Okay. So I don't want, let's do that from here. So I don't want all the water to go to the edge of the pot, straight down the edge of the pot and out the hole. That does nothing for the tree, right? So what we do is we build it up so that when I do water it, that a bunch of that water is going to go down through these roots. And the reason I want it to go down through these roots, because the next time I yank this tree out of this pot, right, all of this base will be more exposed. And if you get a little bit closer, Jamie, you can come in here and see how nice it is to turn that, and you start cleaning that off, and then all of this is going to start getting exposed over the next year or so. So then that root base, which makes it look way older, and again,
I always use this to turn. Okay,
nice.
I like that.
Nice, yeah.
It's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Yay.
So as the water will naturally remove this soil and sand away from this base, the base will start getting wider and wider. Okay, and that's where this is actually going to go into a square pot. So it'll be about this big. It'll probably be as wide as this, but it'll be this long. And that's why I took so much of this off, because I want to train it right now. So yes. Will it grow down like fingers to the bottom? Of course it will. That's what I want it to do. And the reason I want it to do that is because I want really nice, flush, puffy, foliage. And then so, like, I went and got this tree. Y'all donated this tree. And so the next class that we're going to do is we're going to do this tree. Okay? So we can already tell this thing needs some help. So I'll give you a few, if you come in here and you look, you see how this, look at that base on that tree, right? So that's, so what we're going to do is we'll come in here in the next class and we're going to start cutting all that out. I want to see that. And so like we'll get up to a certain point, and then I'm going to wire this down. And then I'll wire this down, and then I'll wire this down, and eventually we're going to have a tree that is only about this tall.
Yeah.
So the rest of this foliage will get cut off. And so, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys what the next project is, because again, I'm not going to keep you guys, on Facebook too much longer with the live video, because this is really one of those things where you're just sitting here and usually listening to the music. It's kind of chilly today, but that's one of the reasons.
It is definitely. My skirt is straight. I'm up here holding my dress. Yeah.
And so I'm just going to continue to work this. Probably, once the live video is over, it'll probably be another half an hour or so before I get ready to water it. So the first watering, just to let you guys know, the first watering, if it's successful, it will drain fast, and that's kind of what you want, because it's filling up any of those air pocket holes that you have in here, which isn't really good for the tree. So the heavy waterings are really important at first. And see, tonight is going to go down to 35, so this tree is going to go to sleep tonight, or it's going to get real close to going to sleep. And so when it wakes up, it'll have all of this brand new soil tomorrow. And see how that's, I can feel it. So let me get that off of here so I don't break this 10 seconds into having it.
I know, right?
So
let me get my energy drink, so I don't have to drink the.
So I can feel
microorganism
there's
soil.
still some basic spaces that I'm gonna kind of come in here.
I'm gonna drink it anyway.
You can tell that when I move the tree, the pot is moving with it, so it's starting to get set into the pot, and that's really what we're looking for. You want to be able to push the tree and the whole pot moves.
Yeah.
Right. So, if you guys have any questions, or you have any, if y'all want to get involved in something like this, like maybe do a Rockdale Bonsai Club.
Well, I've got comments saying you should sell these. The market for ornamental art trees, whatever you want to call this. You know what I'm saying?
In about 4 years, this tree will be worth between $850 to $1,000.
Yeah.
And so will its brother.
Yeah.
And I may do a couple of these. I may go do some like local bonsai shows with. So one of the things that I was thinking about doing, guys, is any of the donated, let's say, house bush tree bushes that I get, right? Let's do an auction for a local charity.
Okay.
So I auction off a couple of trees that I just go wild collect off the side of a riverbank.
Yeah.
Right? Or if anybody has access to an old quarry, call me, DM me, because I want to get in there.
Yeah.
Some of the best trees you're
Yes.
going to find are going to be on those quarry cliffs.
Yeah.
And the older the quarry, the better the chance you're going to find some absolutely amazing trees on the edge of the quarry cliff, or if you go down into there and you can climb up the sides and get to it if you can.
Guys, send Neil your unwanted trees.
Yeah, give me a call.
Please.
I'll come get them. Let's do a show.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe the next show we'll be doing this. Okay. But I am talking to a neighbor, and they've got some box elms that really need some help, and I think if we can yank them out and stick them into a pot that will give it some extra nutrition, let's get the right conditions for it on the lighting, and then just enjoy it. Come out here, on some Saturday morning or some Monday morning and just absolutely freaking dreading going to work. Come out, water your bonsais, and then just enjoy the pure artistic expression of something that's living, and that it's your responsibility to take care of it and shape it, form it. And like I said last time, these will develop personalities, okay? And what I mean by that is they're going to like certain soils. They're going to like you to handle them a certain way. They're going to like a certain amount of water. So the tree, this brother right here, may not want as much water as her, right? So, it's kind of cool because you can develop a relationship with these living entities that you're sculpting into art. It's absolutely amazing. And you can't go wrong in this. Like, when you look at nature, any part of nature is beautiful. You look at a dead tree in the middle of a field, and it's almost like it could become a beautiful charcoal, like a charcoal drawing of this tree that is its life cycle's over, but it still is adding artistic value to the middle of this field, just random tree that's dead. And even though it's dead, and I'm sad for it, it's a tree, it still looks absolutely beautiful sitting in there as a dead tree. So there may be times where I'll grab a tree, won't make it, just won't. So then what we'll do is I've got some wood carving tools, and then I'll just come through here and I'll just carve all of this out.
Yeah.
And so it'll spiral, so we'll have spiraling everywhere, all around. So it doesn't matter if you mess up and you kill the tree, all right? It does, because especially if you pay for it. But, sometimes you can make happy mistakes. You learn from it.
I want to get on the whole crepe myrtle art.
You can do that.
Yes.
They're fun.
Yes.
They're fun.
The living art. Yep.
So this is kind of one of those things where, like, you can do a penetration test on here. So see how far I can't go down any further than that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that actually tells me that I'm at a certain amount of centimeters and inches. I'm actually making progress. And again, when I touch the tree and I push the tree, the whole pot, and you can
Yeah, no, it's way more sturdy than it was whenever you started working with it. Yeah.
And you'll notice that it's not even moving a lot of the dirt around the base. Okay.
Nice.
So that's really that's all about planting, repotting a bonsai, or taking a nursery stock tree and turning it into a bonsai. So it does have to go through certain levels of training. Like, usually it takes most people 2 or 3 years to become a first-degree black belt. That's like getting your associate's degree in martial arts science, So it's going to take this tree a couple of years to give me the foliage that I want. And once we're there, then I'm going to yank it back out. We're going to stick it in a $200 or $300 bonsai pot, and at that point, it's going on auction. And some of these will go quite high. Some of the bonsai competitions are absolutely amazing. You can look them up online too. They're kind of fun. There's so many unique ideas when you go through the bonsai competitions and you're looking at all the different trees and you're like, oh, I could do that with that tree. And then next thing you know, you have 4,700 trees in your backyard and everybody thinks you're not the crazy cat lady, you're the crazy bonsai dude. All right, so.
Not gonna lie, I feel like I've been watching an entire documentary about bonsai porn. So. Just rewatch it. Just rewatch it after that statement.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna continue to stab into the tree's ball. Yeah. And y'all can enjoy your Sunday.
Keep packing that soil, boy. Bye, guys.
Y'all have an absolutely amazing Sunday, guys. Bye.
All right. I don't know how to turn this off. That's funny as hell.